Hey everyone, welcome to another Pioneer video here on Magic Arena. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the link to my Ko-fi account is in the description, so if you're able to help the channel that way, then it is greatly appreciated. So, Edge of Eternities is here. It has landed today, the set is up. So we are running our first deck using a new card from the format, and that is Dimir Midrange Dimir Rogues running Sunset Saboteur. So this is a 4-1 for 2 with Menace, a human rogue. It has Ward of Discard a card. Seems too good to be true. It does have a drawback that whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature an opponent controls. So yeah, there is a drawback associated with that card, but often, a body that's that difficult to block and or get rid of will close out the game quickly enough that that drawback doesn't matter too much, or if the opponent just doesn't have any creatures because we've interacted with them all, then even better, it just won't matter at all. So yeah, that is the new card, and then the rest of the deck is Dimir Rogues, kind of built around. It's kind of a hybrid of the old Rogues deck with the more kind of modern Dimir Midrange, so it's running Kaito as a kind of payoff card. Often you can ninjutsu this in for 3 mana by returning something like a Thieves Guild Enforcer, a Fairy Mastermind, a Soaring Thought Thief, whatever it may be. Bring that back, bring Kaito in, and then just start getting the value off it. But yeah, we have our Rogues package of the Enforcer and the Thought Thief, also 3 copies of Fairy Mastermind, a Brazen Borrower, so a decent number of Rogues, which could all kind of benefit from the Soaring Thought Thief's ability once the opponent gets 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Then the rest of the deck, some interaction with Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Drown in the Lock, and Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce obviously being kind of 1 mana counter spell. Drown in the Lock kind of doubles as a counter spell or a removal spell, depending on which mode we need and how many cards there are in the opponent's graveyard. And then a couple of copies of Shieldred the Apocalypse, which isn't a rogue, but just a good card anyway. It's interesting now that rotation has happened. Actually, this is primarily a deck now that the cards aren't available in Standard, which makes for a nice change from a lot of Pioneer decks that you come across more recently. A year's worth of cards rotating will at least help separate out the formats a little bit, hopefully. There, in terms of the mana base, pretty self-explanatory. Blue-black dual lands, some Mutavaults, as they are also rogues and or ninjas, depending on what particular buff we are hoping for at any given particular time. Takenuma, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Urborg, just to help smooth out our black mana. A couple of basic lands as well. Sideboard, so we got some more counter spells, Disdainful Stroke and Negate, some early removal for those annoying aggro creatures which are hard to get rid of, like the Heartfire Hero or the Screaming Nemesis. Some grindy mid-range matchup potential with Reckoner Bankbuster. Graveyard Hate with Unlicensed Hearse. Narset is very good at shutting down decks like Izzet Phoenix. Then we got some more Graveyard Hate and just a good mid-range card with Graveyard Trespasser. The Ward of Discard a card features here again, and it can be really quite annoying. Virulent Plague, just for those decks which are running lots of tokens, and then 1 Extinction Event as another mass removal spell as well. So yeah, that is the deck. We have a new card, we have a new set, it's exciting. So let's take it onto the ladder and see how the deck does. Okay, this hand's missing some blue mana, but it's got lots of Sunset Saboteurs, and we like Sunset Saboteur, so let's go with it. So we'll start with the Thoughtseize. Ooh, okay, the opponent's got a Consult the Star Charts going on here. So yeah, let's get rid of that. This is actually probably a decent deck to be running Sunset Saboteur against, because the opponent probably won't have a huge amount of creatures, at least initially. Again, difficult card for the opponent to interact with. They have to discard a card to be able to do it. Okay, fine. So Blitz of the Thunder Raptor it is. So I think let's get down our second Saboteur. This time we do have Spell Pierce to protect it, which is good. Okay. Yeah, let's Spell Pierce that. Seems like a decent tempo play. I think we'll hold back on playing Shieldred. We'll just hold up Soaring Thought Thief. Ooh, now what does this do? Add, blah blah blah. Add, spend this mana. Okay, so it's the Emperor of Wajimajigga. He seems like fun. So we'll get our Thought Thief friend into play. Yeah, let's Spell Pierce that. Protect our creatures. Then we'll start attacking. We will have to grow their Emperor, but I'm not hugely fussed about that. Play Shieldred. Yeah, cool. Excellent. Okay, good first game. So the opponent's on a sort of Izzet spells deck by the look of it. So I probably want Negate, Narset. Yeah, we can put in Disdainful Stroke as well. Fatal Push, I think, is a good answer for the Emperor. Less fussed about Drown in the Lock here, I think. Let's lose the Brazen Borrower. That seems fine. Still cool to see some new cards. The opponent's running Consult the Star Charts, which definitely one of my favourites from the new set. And this pathway is slightly awkward in this hand. Because I do want to start with black mana, but I don't want to leave myself no blue mana. I think it's a keep, but it's a marginal one. Okay, well that makes our decision easier. I think we start with black mana and then just wait patiently. Oh, so they're a Mind Splice deck. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll take the Emperor. They don't want Star Charts. Interesting. It's an interesting thing they've got going on here. Yeah, this lack of blue mana I think is going to come back to haunt me, unfortunately. No, they don't want their Emperor again. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So I definitely think I want to hit their Mind Splice apparatus this turn. Yeah, they've got removal for years, but eventually I'm going to... Okay, Stock Up's a good draw. Unfortunately, cannot negate it. Oh, yikes. This is pretty grim, to be honest. Haven't drawn a single land for about 5 draws. Yep, Stock Up again. Why not? Okay, let's start baiting out the opponent's removal. Land? Thank you. Create an O2. Yeah, I think I can negate that. I'll put my other Thieves Guild down. Does this do again? Okay. So they can bring something back later. Okay, yeah, I think we're just going to have to take a turn off to get Kaito into play. Do some surveilling. Don't really want either of those. Want something with a bit more punch. Okay, that's fine. That's more annoying, to be honest. Yep. Yeah, I've not got much going on here, to be honest. Pretty bad set, pretty bad draw all round. So let's let the opponent do their thing. Hopefully I can draw into something a bit more impactful. No, they don't want it. Okay. Fine. Just drawing my entire... I got rid of Spell Pierce as well. Just drawing my entire counterspell package here. Never mind. We live and learn. Okay, let's definitely Disdainful Stroke that. Yes, you may consider. It's all looking quite grim. Spell Pierce that. Okay, Sunset Saboteur is not a terrible draw. I think it's all coming a little too late, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll negate that. Yeah, I will take this block for sure. I'm sure there's nothing that this can do at sorcery speed. Oh, I see. Now the lands come. Yeah, that was pretty awful. I just drew everything in the wrong order. All of my threats. Just nothing. Yep, fine. They can have their stock up back. and then cast it. Puts me down to 7. Okay, drawing a Thought Thief is not the worst thing in the world. I'll put a Watery Grave down. I feel like they've got so many cards in their hand, it's not very likely that I can win from here. I see. I'd really rather you didn't. What does this do? Draw X cards. Fine. Okay. Well. Okay, Fairy Mastermind would have been good about 500 years ago, but... we are now technically presenting a 2-turn clock. So yeah, let's see what they can do. I mean, they've got 7 cards in their hand, so I'm not hopeful. But they might think that they've got another turn. Yep, start the stock up, so that's some of their mana gone. Yeah, it's not impossible we might still win here. If they get greedy and start consulting the star charts or something. Or they could just kill me. That's fine. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty rough match just with the way we drew our cards there. So I think let's not worry too much about that. Do we have enough? I mean, we've got plenty of creatures. Maybe let's stick in a couple of Anoint with Afflictions. Take the Narsets out. Wow. Oh, come on. Okay. So let's put back Shieldred and probably Soaring here and just hope we can get away with Fairy Mastermind into Kaito giving us enough value. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go for it here. Okay. Whew. Okay, that did actually work out, despite the mull to 5. Yeah, this hand feels pretty good with a 1 into a 2. Let's protect our Thieves Guild. I suspect our Saboteur is not long for this world. Okay, they didn't want it. Fine. In which case, I shall play Saboteur instead. Ooh, the Mycosynth Gardens. That's fun. Okay, I'm not sure I'm thrilled about growing there. I'm also not thrilled about just drawing lands, but it's life, isn't it? I mean, 4 damage is a lot, at least. Neblox. You don't fret. You don't frighten me. Bleh. Okay, well that's not great. So let's just fire up the Mutavault. And a party. Oh, okay. So it's Orzhov Greasefang. Fine. Good-o. As much as I would like to cast this, I need to get rid of their Parhelion. Well, Cersei right for complaining about lands earlier. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. How dare you. Getting absolutely beaten to death by a Gardener of Huminalia. Yeah, Drown in the Loch is pretty bad in this situation, unfortunately. I'll drown that in the lock. Cannot be doing with it. I'm super dead anyway, let's not stick around for this. So yeah, that was awkward. I definitely want Anoint with Affliction, I want Graveyard Trespasser, I want Unlicensed Terse. Less fussed about Fatal Push. Drown in the Lock at least can kill a Greasefang. Yeah, I think we can trip Spell Pierce as well. That is fine. It's not great, it's just fine. Yep. Finally, a hand with a good mix of land and spells. What a victory for common sense. There. Plan A. I mean, this is like, yeah, this whole thing is slightly awkward given that I fill their. This deck fills their graveyard, but let's get rid of that. Let's start trespassing. Nyeh. So-so. With a monument, obviously, it's quite annoying. Just keep chomping on there, graveyard. I could have exiled my own shield right here actually for the life swing. I don't think it's that important. See, Trespasser and Soaring Thought Thief are a little bit of a nombo. I think let's just play both our creatures here. Cheeky. Yep, let's do it like that. Interesting ordering of the triggers there. Fine. So they're looking for a Greasefang, basically. That wins them the game. If they don't find it, they lose. Boo, screw you. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Cool. It's a good hand. Yeah, interesting card so far. Certainly been doing some damage. The drawback has been minor to moderate, I would say, in some, depending on the matchup. It's an interesting card, this one. Okay, opponent's on a mull to 5. So it's a decent start for us. And another Godless Shrine. Okay, they're more of a graveyard deck. I see what's happening here. I'm being punished for running this deck with opponents who just want to put stuff in the graveyard. Okay, maybe it's more sacrifice, which again is all well and good until they play Raise the Past and I just cry and go home. Okay. How do I feel about growing that, or do I just want to bounce it instead? Yeah, I think that might just be a better option. Let's just tempo them here. Avoid the growing the creature trigger. Yeah, this presents a lot of damage very early on. It's a hella spicy card design, this. Well, they are not happy that I did that. Fine. Ah, they're missing land drops, that's why. Well, now I'm going to be even more of a villain. Yeah, in a deck that can control the board, this drawback, this is just a 4-1 for 2. Fine. How many cards they got in graveyard? 5. Okay, let's Thought Thief Yeah, because now I think we're just presenting lethal by doing this, because graveyard, please grow. Yes, that gets another counter, but who cares, because they're dead. Ah, there's their raise their pass, the pass. And rally the ancestors too, that's fun. You're dead. Thank you. Okay, so Orzhov Sacrifice. So I assume it's running Sephiroth, so I definitely want Anoint with Affliction, I want Graveyard Trespasser, Unlicensed Hearse, Extinction Event as well, probably. And that means I need to make 8 cuts, which I think, yeah, well, I suppose Spell Pierce does hit a raise the pass, but it's probably not good enough by itself. Let's take that out. And we do have Drown in the Lock, to be fair, if we do need it against that. I think Fairy Mastermind, they're not really drawing additional cards. Same with Shieldred. Let's take that out here. Yeah. Yeah, Sunset Saboteur looked really good in that game. There it is again. Yeah, this is a highly keepable hand, this one. Fine. Yeah, well, they're on the play now. They're likely to be a bit quicker on the uptake. Okay, new Umbral Collar Zealot. Good, good. Well, it's good to see that card. Well, I'm not going to trade with it, so... Okay, I think let's take out the Zealot now before it starts generating too much value. Well, they are setting themselves up for turn 3 Raise the Past here, which is probably going to finish me off, so... Oh god, the fact they put that in the graveyard worries me enormously. No? Okay, fine. No, thank you, please. I think... As much as I would like to play Kaito here, I do think I have to get down the Unlicensed Hearse. If the opponent's missing a land drop and they do have Raise the Past in their hand, that's a little unfortunate for them, but... Oh god. Oh god. That's where all your lands went. Okay, whoops. So let's take out both the Umbral Collar Zealots, I think, first. Fine. Get Sunset Saboteur into play. Then I've still got Fatal Push. Yep, love milling my opponent when they have raised the past. Okay, let's take the Zealot, the Cartel Aristocrat. Push the Town Greeter. I know it will come back. I'm fully aware of that. I think it's just worth doing this way. Okay, I got Takanuma, so... how are we going to do this? I think let's... just bring back Thieves Guild Enforcer.
Your tech is way. Don't worry, Pom-Pom-Chan. I've got this.
Don't really want either of those. I'll just have another Kaito then, shall I? Thank you so much. I've got 18 cards in the graveyard. This is where a exile all cards from the opponent's graveyard would actually come in quite handy. Okay, let's see what we can get rid of here. Let's Confidant and Confidant, I think. Bleh! Oh my god, I'm still super dead. Unless they just mill themselves out. That could happen. Let's hope that happens. I've got 23 cards. Seems unlikely given the number of rogues I have, but... yes, keep milling yourself. I feel like it's very unfair to expect me to play against so many graveyard strategies.
Now I know your weakness.
So I'm not going to attack, I don't think. Yeah, I've changed my mind. I think I do want Spell Pierce. Interesting. Okay. Well, trade, eat. Probably just die. Well, I'll respond to that by chowing down on more of their graveyard. I mean, they'll probably be alright here, but they have left themselves quite vulnerable to damage. So, how much am I presenting here? So I'm presenting 10. Trespasser doesn't do it. Hive doesn't do it either. What does Hive get us up to? Hive gets us up to 13 plus this. I mean, that's assuming they have nothing at all, but I'm dead anyway, so... Go on.
I just hate a fair fight.
No. Okay. Spell Pierce. Negate. I think in exchange for Brazen Borrower. Probably Drown in the Lock. Let's just get that out. No fear. I'm going for it. You don't frighten me. They terrify me. Boo! That went well. Okay, land is good. Not sure. We kind of got to play around them having raised the past here. Although, I suppose it's not the worst thing if they do. Yeah, I think... Let's just go for it. Okay, that's their Rally of the Ancestors are getting chewed. I think whether they block here will be quite a strong indication of what they've got going on. Okay, that's potentially a good sign. He says naively. So that's 3 rallies. Well, actually, oh god, that's all 4 rallies. The Ancestors in their graveyard. Okay, that's something. No, please. Stop it. Woohoo, never punished. Okay, another land is good, so... I am going to need to hold up Spell Pierce now. I can't keep playing the odds as fruitily as this, unfortunately. That's fine. I mean, I do get to kill both their creatures here. Hopefully they're just building up for one big Raise the Past, which I can then Spell Pierce. And now I'm presenting lethal if they do that. Yeah, maybe they got a little greedy. Yep. Sorry about that. Okay. The temptation just to hold on another turn. I mean, they may have drawn that subsequently, but yeah, they did not reckon on the Spell Pierce. And we will take that as a victory and as proof that Sunset Saboteur is actually a pretty good card. Because I think it is. I think, on the whole, its drawback is real, but I think it performed pretty well there. Let's open some Edge of Eternities packs. First time on the stream, on the channel. Ah yes, this is a fun one. Probably not going to see much play. Tezzeret, yeah, Tezzeret's an interesting one. Definitely going to be building around that at some point. Oh, another mythic. Quantum Riddler. Now this seems like a good card. I mean, it's pushed in its kind of normal cost, 4/6 that potentially draws 2 when it comes into play in the late game, which it probably will be when you're playing just for 5 mana. And the Warp effect is just pretty good if you can abuse it in any way. If you can blink it on turn 3, yeah. Yeah, Warp seems like a sneaky good ability. Weapons manufacturing. Yeah, and again, there's some good stuff in this set. There's some powerful cards. So yeah, there's the deck. Sunset Saboteur, a pretty decent addition. Yeah, I think whether this needs to be in a dedicated rogues build, or you could just say build it in a more general kind of Kaito deck, I think is interesting. It does synergize quite nicely with Soaring Thought Thief, making it even bigger and more difficult to interact with. But yeah, that was pretty good. We struggled against Greasefang, which is fair enough. You'd expect, you know, it was close against the graveyard deck, but you kind of expect that, given that we're deliberately filling the opponent's graveyard. We were a little unfortunate to face 2 graveyard decks in the 3 matches we played, but I think the deck held its own reasonably well. Counter Magic came in handy there in the final game. Pretty good. So here's the deck list one more time in the description as usual. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and contribute to the coffee account if you can. I appreciate all the support. And yeah, more Edge of Eternities to come soon. See you next time.